Yo, this is Alan Fenstermaker here with Pro Wrestling Archives. I'm here with Despina Mantagas. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for doing this interview. Now, what are some of the highlights of your career that you have?
Well, I mean, it was all amazing. It was a short run, but it was amazing. And I could say that initially going to Japan and, literally after coming out of training for about 8 months and then going to Japan and totally getting my butt kicked, it was a great experience.
Okay.
I mean, it was awesome because the girls were good. They were good wrestlers, and it just showed the caliber of what's out there. So that was awesome.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what was it? Yeah, what were some of your inspirations to become a pro wrestler?
Inspirations? Honestly, I wasn't really a wrestling fan. I was an athlete, went into a slump while I was playing golf, and I said, you know what, there's got to be easier sport than this. So the sport that I chose was wrestling, and it was one of the hardest things I ever did. I mean, the training was, 2 times a day, morning, going and taking a nap, rolling out of bed for the evening training, and then working at night. But it was very, very grueling, and I have a lot of respect for the wrestlers now. Yes.
Now, do you have any, what do you think of the women's division these days with the whole women's revolution coming up?
I think it's amazing. I mean, women are good workers. They're good wrestlers, and they deserve to have, all the publicity and, just be pushed in the business, because I remember back in the day I would have matches with, for example, I would work for Bob Geigel in Kansas City, and I was wrestling with Debbie Combs, and we would out-wrestle the guys. They would be so mad at us that they would have to follow our matches. So, not that we were so great, but we did good. We had good matches and bad matches, but we did really good sometimes. So I think the girls, as long as they're trained properly, I think, it's awesome what's going on. Yeah,
okay.
The exposure. And I got to say one more thing. Another good experience was in Kansas City, Kansas, in a dressing room. That's where I met my husband, Tarzan Goto.
Nice.
So out of that, we're not married now, but still, out of that, I have 3 wonderful sons, and that was the best thing, Yeah.
And now, what was that like raising these sons and also being in the wrestling business? I know with all the traveling involved.
Well, I actually lived in Japan for the 7 years that I was raising my children, and I wrestled a little bit for FMW, and then I went to the all-girls wrestling organization, and I said, I want to work, and they said, first of all, aren't you married? How old are you? And don't you have children? So the message was loud and clear: stay home and take care of your family, and that's pretty much what I did, And I worked a little bit here and there. My ex-husband and I, we had the first mixed tag match in Japan, so it was awesome.
Yeah. Now, how would you describe your experience in Japan overall?
Oh my God, I loved it. It was awesome. It was the people are fabulous. The food was awesome. I loved everything about it. It taught me a lot. Yeah, and I also learned the friends that I had. Even though they were Japanese and I'm American, it was we didn't have many differences. We were very similar in the way that we thought, about raising our children and about marriage and everything. So it was a good experience. Yeah, it was great.
Now, any advice would you give to anybody trying to get into the wrestling business these days on what you would recommend?
I would say just, if you have a dream, follow your dream, follow your heart, never give up. And then sometimes when the road changes, or just say you hit a brick wall, don't be discouraged. Give it up for a minute, turn around and walk the other direction. You might have 3, 4, 5, 100 doors that open for you. So that's what I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, so don't give up.
Anything else you'd like to add at all, or?
I just, thank you for having me, and I'm just happy to be here. I haven't done anything with wrestling in 35 years. Actually, it was 34 years a year ago that I went to the CAC convention because Malaya was able to raise funds to bring all the girls in, and that was amazing, So it inspired me for many things. So I'm working on things now. Social media is one. I'm an auntie, so that stuff kind of makes me nervous. But I want to get out there. Is it all done? Oh, so yeah, and I just want to get out there and start doing something to promote, to help basically the veterans of the business that weren't treated so well by Mula. Let's finish with that, because that was a horrible thing, the way that she was. But that's just the entertainment world, and people take advantage of their talent. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just trying to, like I said, get out there. I really want to write a book, like most people do, but and I have my own ideas about it, so we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, definitely look forward to reading your book now. Like, when are you expecting to release that?
I've just been typing notes in here, typing notes on my phone. So it's a process, I got to raise funds so I can have the time to go do the things I want to do to reach the people I want to reach. I know I could do it on the phone, but I have some really good ideas. So if everything falls into place, maybe within a year. So it's even finding the right people that will help me to understand that. So it's a process. Rome wasn't built in a day, and it's something I think that really honestly God planted a seed with me with the CAC convention. A lot of really good ideas. They're all on paper. A year later, I really haven't done anything with it, but it's time. It's time to rock and roll. I think by being at these events, I was at one last week too, after a year of being at the CAC, and I think just being here, it sparks a flame even more to see how people